question to the proposers of the motion is really a conceptual one. Is the distinction between a natural disaster and a human disaster as clear as it may have been assumed in the drafting of this motion? If one looks at the very first paragraph of this motion, it refers as examples of natural disaster to matters such as storms, including dust storms, which may in fact be the result of, indeed are the result of human activity. Indeed, landslides can be very much the result of human activity, and floods also can be. And I think conceptually this distinction is one that may be problematic in practice. On the other hand, I think there is a great deal to be said for urging greater action on where industrial accidents lead to transboundary harm or impact. One can think of many circumstances, such as, for example, the Chernobyl accident, where the transboundary impacts resulted from very bad operational practice rather than from some form of natural disaster. And a resolution was called for greater information sharing, early warning to neighbouring countries wherever an industrial accident gives rise to the risk of transboundary harm. I think would have more coverage than the motion that is based at the moment on this distinction between natural harm and industrial human harm. So it would not take a lot of work to revise this motion in that way, but I just would like to offer that as a thought to the proposers.
If I may follow on from this comment, my name is Professor Klaus Brosselmann of Auckland University and chair of the Ethics Specialist Group of the Commission on Binding Law. On page 4 of the motion, reference is made to one of the essential principles of the Aarhus Convention, which provides basically access to information but also participation of affected people in the decision making. Coming from New Zealand, we have quite recent experience as for what's in my view lacking in the current motion. The people of Christchurch have been largely excluded from any information to start with. This is a very top-down effort that we have been seeing in the democratic country of New Zealand. And more importantly, we are now in the rebuild process of the destroyed city of Christchurch, and the rebuilding almost exclusively occurs between government agency or specially designed entities and the corporate sector, again with a total exclusion of affected people. So there is a desperate need for including, I feel, as a second component of the rightfully guaranteed access to information, which is expressed in various forms here, to add the notion of active or effective public participation in post-management systems. This would be my suggestion. Is there anyone?
Thank you. Hannah Dryres from the National Environmental Law Association in Australia. I'd just like to commend you for the presentations and for your draft motion. I think it's a really good step in the right direction, but I hope in future years, just to pick up on the comments from Professor Ottinger, that we see more resolutions looking at or committing to act cooperatively and ethically towards those displaced by human-made natural disasters, particularly where people are displaced from their customary lands, from their territories. Entire countries are going to disappear, and we aren't yet seeing much in the way of international treaty action. The obligations on the moral compunction for developed states to take people displaced by climate change. It's a moral imperative, given that that these people in low-lying states have not contributed in any significant way to the tragedies that are going to befall them. So I commend you, but I think, you know, in the future we'd like to see a broadening because of the, you know, catastrophes that will develop.
I thank you for those comments. I would add one other thought to what Klaus Kozelman has put forward. I think not only is it necessary for us to pay attention and assure public participation in post-disaster actions, but in pre-disaster actions. I mean, it is just as sure as can be with the increase in temperature that we've had in the world, that there are going to be sea rise, there are going to be more hurricanes, there are going to be more floods, there are going to be more droughts. So I think really not enough attention has been paid. And again, as an ethical matter, we can prevent a lot of the disasters that we have if we move people away from areas of danger. We plant mangroves, we do all kinds of things to adapt to what is an inevitable series of really challenging disasters.
Yes, we have a very valuable advice from the floor. That I think that the floors have some question about the motion is recently addressed by the Professor. So I think that the Professor is not a member of the commentator, but we have the chance to hear from the Professor what about what's the future of the motion and including the advices from the floors.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for all the comments, precious comments. And the distinguish the disaster itself is kind of definition. It's very difficult. Actually, we thought about that. In fact, it's very difficult to distinguish the natural disaster and man-made disaster. It's kind of some kind of complex one. So all pure, we have the pure natural disaster, but I think most of the natural disaster is from the artificial human activities, and we can divide the industrial disaster. But I think that is a little different category. So we can please understand it was very difficult to distinguish the disaster itself and the. Well, I'd like to thank you for the comments on public participation and also to make or to crystallize this motion. I think all of your comments is going to be good chance to think about our the motion and to develop to better motion. Thank you so much.
I would like to make one other intervention, perhaps a slightly more positive and constructive note than the last one, I hope. I was very interested in Professor Hong's comments on the problems of transboundary dust pollution, and I just want to draw attention to a separate event that took place this morning in which a discussion occurred concerning the possibility of the addition of a protocol to the UN Convention on Combating Desertification with a view to addressing just these problems, and a draft text which has been prepared through the efforts of members of the Commission in their specialist group on soils, including Professor Ben Bohr and Associate Professor Ian Hannam and other good scholars in that group, does envisage the idea of a regional, a possibility of regional arrangements within the framework of a global protocol to address the types of problems that you described so impressively. And I think for countries such as Korea, Japan and China to support that initiative, bearing in mind their particular circumstances, would be very worthwhile. The Secretariat of the UN Convention on Combating Desertification has indicated its interest in this idea and is intending to take work forward. So that may well be a very useful avenue through which to pursue some work in relation to that particular problem.
Thank you for your very, very helpful intervention. Is there any comment to this or something? Professor Kim,
I have advice for Professor So. You made proposals on two levels. One is domestic level, the other is international level. But I think that it's better for you to divide the international level into two levels, global level and regional level. We can make some proposals for the states and intergovernmental NGOs in the world on the global level. But you have some proposals to conclude the regional treaty among Korea, China, and Japan. But I think it's very narrow regional basis. So it's better to make proposals on three levels: domestic, global, worldwide basis, and regional level, including Korea, Japan, and China. What do you think about this?
Oh, that's an excellent idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, yes, it is a desire to have the global, the international, the comprehensive general convention. So I think that regional convention between three countries is going to be pilot program. So it's going to start from this region.
Pilot.
Yes.
I see.
Thank you so much.
thank you, Professor. Now time is the 6:40, so time is going to the dinner time. So the Hangul will discover me that this is natural just for you. I keep this work keep going on that because that I don't want to steal the time for you. I think that I guess everything was covered in this workshop. I hope this workshop will broaden your understanding of environmental issues. This workshop is about to be closed. So lastly, Professor Cho will make a closing remark on this workshop. Professor Cho.
제가 만나면 외국인들 이걸 안 갖고 있기 때문에 통역을 직접 외국인들이 지금 이걸 레시피를 안 갖고 있으니까 직접적으로 전서 통역에 서울에 주세요. 예, 안녕하십니까. 예, 안녕하십니까.
네, Nice to meet you guys.
예, 저는 한국환경법학회 총무이사를 맡고 있는 경희대학교 교수 전경운입니다.
My name is Jung Kyung-un. I am the secretary of the Korean Environmental Law Association.
오늘 세계 자연보전총회 한국환경법학회 워크숍에 끝까지 참석해 주셔서 감사드립니다.
I want to first of all thank you guys for staying all the time throughout the workshop and for your comments.
특히 니콜라스 로빈슨 교수님과 소병천 교수님께 감사드리고
And especially to Professor Robinson and Professor So for the presentations.
그리고 좋은 코멘트를 해주신 리차드 오팅거 교수님, 데이비드 가스터 교수님, 그리고 김유찬 교수님, 그 다음에 홍유덕 과장님께 감사드립니다.
And I want to thank you, the commentators, for their great comments. I don't know their names, but
그리고 오늘 소병천 교수님을 통해서 한국환경법학회는 중요한 제안을 했습니다.
And through Professor So's motion, the Korean Environmental Law Association has made a very important proposal.
자연재해에 의한 2차적 환경 피해에 대한 어떤 제한입니다.
And it was, as you guys saw, the management, post-management of the secondary environmental damage after the natural disaster.
오늘 토론된 내용은 아마 제안에서 일부 수정이 될 수도 있지만은
And as we discussed, the actual motion may be edited a little bit after the comments by the scholars.
좀 더 완성된 모습으로 최종 제안이 될 것입니다.
And it will go through that process and come out as more better and perfect motion.
그리고 12일 날 투표가 있는데
And there's the voting for the motion on the 12th of September.
여러분들의 적극적인 지지와 후원을 부탁드립니다.
And we ask you for the strong support and the voting.
오전 8시 반부터 10시 사이.
그리고 12일 날 오전 8시 반부터 10시 사이에 투표가 있습니다.
And the voting will be held on the September 12th from 8:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock.
성공적인 여러분들의 참여가 되기를 바라고 한국에서 좀 많은 좋은 경험을 하고 돌아가기를 바랍니다.
And we wish your participation in the voting as well as we hope that you enjoy your time here in Korea.
감사합니다.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jung. Now we reach the final stage of this wonderful workshop that Professor Jo will make the closing remark on this wonderful workshop. Professor Jo, please. I'm sorry about that. The professor said that the closing remark is recently delivered by the Professor Chun. Yeah, it's a natural disaster for me. Okay, we covered everything in this wonderful workshop. Thank you for your attention and please enjoy the feeling of the Jeju Island. Thank you.
많이 지지해달라고 내가 얘기했는데